Did you know that 90% of people fear public speaking more than death? It's true. But what if I told you that many great speakers started out just like you? They learned to avoid common mistakes, and you can too. In this video, we will uncover 6 common persuasive mistakes that even experienced speakers make. These mistakes can turn an engaging talk into a snooze fest. But don't worry, we won't just point out the problems. We'll show you how to fix them with easy, practical tips. Here's a teaser of what's coming up. We'll reveal why memorizing your speech can backfire, how too much information can actually make you less persuasive, and the secret power of emotional appeal. Plus, we'll dive into why vocal variety is a game changer and how to use visuals without overwhelming your audience. Finally, we'll talk about the importance of follow-ups to keep your audience engaged even after your speech ends. Stay tuned, because these strategies can transform your speaking skills and make you a more confident, effective communicator. Let's dive in and start turning those common mistakes into your strengths. Chapter 1: The Myth of Memorization, Why Rote Learning Fails You. Many people think that memorizing their speech word for word is the key to being a great speaker. However, this can actually work against you. Memorization can make you sound robotic and stiff, which disconnects you from your audience. Instead, focus on understanding your material deeply. Did you know that 75% of people feel more connected to a speaker who speaks naturally, according to a study by the University of California? This shows the power of a more conversational style. Think about the great speakers you admire. They don't seem like they're reciting from a script. They speak with passion and spontaneity. For example, Steve Jobs was known for his relaxed, engaging speaking style. He didn't memorize his speeches. He understood his material inside and out. One way to achieve this is by turning your speech into a series of stories or anecdotes. Stories are easier to remember than a long list of facts. Plus, they make your message more relatable. A quote from Dale Carnegie's The Art of Public Speaking says, "People seldom improve when they have no other model but themselves to copy after." Practice your speech in different ways. Try talking about your topic while walking around your room. This can help you find a natural rhythm and flow. Don't be afraid to improvise a little each time you practice. If you lose your place, don't panic. Take a deep breath and remember the main points you want to make. The audience won't notice small mistakes if you keep going confidently. They're more interested in your overall message than in perfection. Use bullet points instead of a full script. This helps you stay on track without sounding rehearsed. Bullet points can act as a guide to keep you focused on your key messages. Lastly, connect with your audience. Ask them questions, respond to their reactions, and make eye contact. These small interactions can make your speech feel more like a conversation and less like a monologue. Chapter 2: Overloading with Information, The Art of Concise Messaging. Another common mistake is overwhelming your audience with too much information. You might think more details make your argument stronger. But in reality, less is often more. A study from the University of Illinois found that audiences retain only about 10% of what they hear in a speech. This means you need to be very selective about the information you include. Focus on the most impactful points. Think about what you want your audience to remember most and build your speech around that. Consider the rule of 3. People tend to remember things better in threes. Structure your speech around 3 main points. This makes it easier for your audience to follow and remember your message. Be clear and concise. Avoid jargon and complex language. If your audience has to work too hard to understand you, they'll tune out. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Use analogies and metaphors to make complex ideas more understandable. For example, if you're talking about the importance of concise messaging, you might compare it to packing for a trip. You only bring what you need and leave the rest behind. Visual aids can also help. But don't overload your slides with text. Use images and keywords to highlight your main points. This keeps your audience's attention on you, not on reading slides. Practice distilling your message into a single sentence. This helps you focus on the core of what you're trying to communicate. If you can't summarize your speech in one sentence, it might be too complicated. Engage your audience with questions and interactive elements. This keeps them involved and helps reinforce your key points. For example, ask them to think of a time when they were overwhelmed by too much information and how they felt. Lastly, end with a strong, memorable conclusion. Summarize your main points and leave your audience with a clear takeaway. This reinforces your message and makes it more likely they'll remember it. Chapter 3: Ignoring Emotional Appeal, Connecting Through Authenticity. Ignoring emotional appeal can really hurt your persuasive efforts. People are more likely to remember how you made them feel rather than what you said. In fact, a study from Harvard Business Review found that emotional connection can increase audience engagement by up to 70%. To connect emotionally, be authentic. Share personal stories or experiences that relate to your topic. This builds trust and makes your message more relatable. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Using empathy is crucial. Put yourself in your audience's shoes. What are their concerns and desires? Address these directly in your speech. When you show that you understand their feelings, they are more likely to listen to you. Try to evoke specific emotions in your speech. Happiness, surprise, or even concern can be powerful. But be careful not to manipulate your audience. Authenticity is key. People can sense when you're being genuine. Body language also plays a big role. Smile, make eye contact, and use gestures to emphasize your points. These nonverbal cues can enhance your emotional appeal. According to UCLA psychology professor Albert Mehrabian, 55% of communication is body language. Use emotional language. Words like excited, frustrated, or amazed can help convey your feelings and engage your audience. However, balance your emotional appeal with facts to maintain credibility. Incorporate pauses in your speech. A well-timed pause can let emotions sink in and create a dramatic effect. It shows you're confident and gives the audience time to reflect on what you've said. Finally, remember to be vulnerable. Sharing your challenges or failures can make you more relatable and trustworthy. People appreciate honesty and are more likely to connect with you on a deeper level. Chapter 4: Monotone Monologues, Adding Vocal Variety to Captivate. A monotone voice can put your audience to sleep, no matter how interesting your content is. Vocal variety is key to keeping them engaged. According to Toastmasters International, varying your pitch, pace, and volume can significantly improve your delivery. Start by changing your pitch. Higher and lower tones can help emphasize different points. For example, use a higher pitch for excitement and a lower pitch for serious moments. This contrast keeps your audience attentive. Pace is another important factor. Speed up when you're excited or telling an exciting story. Slow down when you want to emphasize a point or make sure the audience understands a complex idea. This variation helps maintain interest. Volume can also be used strategically. Speak louder to highlight important points and softer to draw your audience in. However, avoid shouting. It's about creating contrast and maintaining a dynamic flow. Practice these techniques in front of a mirror or record yourself. This helps you become more aware of your natural speaking patterns and identify areas for improvement. Remember, the goal is to sound natural, not forced. Use pauses effectively. A pause can add emphasis, give your audience time to digest information, or create suspense. Don't be afraid of silence, it can be a powerful tool when used correctly. Incorporate expressive gestures. These can complement your vocal variety and make your speech more dynamic. Just make sure your gestures are natural and not distracting. Watch and learn from great speakers. Notice how they use their voice and body language. TED Talks are a great resource for this. Try to incorporate some of their techniques into your own speaking style. Lastly, practice, practice, practice. The more you work on your vocal variety, the more natural it will become. Over time, you'll find your own unique style that captivates your audience and enhances your message. Chapter 5: The PowerPoint Pitfall, Visuals that Enhance, Not Distract. Overloading your PowerPoint slides with text is a common mistake. It diverts attention away from you, the speaker. Instead, use visuals to support your narrative. According to a study by the University of Minnesota, visuals can increase audience retention by up to 42%. Keep your slides simple. Use one main idea per slide. This helps your audience focus on your key points. Steve Jobs was famous for his minimalist slides, often using just one image or word per slide. Use high-quality images. They should be relevant and support your message. Avoid using generic stock photos. Instead, choose images that resonate with your content and evoke emotion. Graphs and charts can be powerful, but keep them straightforward. Too much data can overwhelm your audience. Highlight the most important figures. A quote from Edward Tufte, a pioneer in data visualization, says, "Clutter and confusion are failures of design, not attributes of information." Use color wisely. Colors can draw attention to key points. But too many colors can be distracting. Stick to a consistent color scheme that aligns with your topic and branding. Limit the amount of text on your slides. Aim for no more than 6 words per slide. This keeps the focus on you and your message. Guy Kawasaki, a venture capitalist, recommends the October 20-30 rule for presentations: 10 slides, 20 minutes, and no font smaller than 30 points. Use bullet points sparingly. They can make slides look cluttered. Instead, try using icons or images to represent your points. This makes your slides more visually appealing. Engage your audience with interactive elements. Ask questions or include short polls. This keeps them involved and makes your presentation more dynamic. Practice with your slides. Make sure you know when to advance them and how they support your speech. This helps you stay in control and maintain a smooth flow. Chapter 6: Forgetting the follow-up, engaging your audience post-speech. The end of your speech isn't the end of your engagement. Following up with your audience is crucial. It reinforces your message and keeps the conversation going. A study by Gallup found that audiences who felt engaged were 70% more likely to act on the speaker's message. Start by summarizing your key points at the end of your speech. This helps reinforce what you've said. Make sure your audience leaves with a clear understanding of your main message. Provide actionable takeaways. Give your audience specific steps they can take after your speech. This makes your message practical and relevant. Tony Robbins often ends his speeches with a clear call to action, motivating his audience to apply what they've learned. Encourage questions. This shows you value your audience's input and are open to dialogue. It also gives you a chance to clarify any points and deepen your connection with your audience. Collect feedback. Ask your audience for their thoughts on your speech. This can help you improve for next time. Use surveys or feedback forms to gather their opinions. Stay connected through social media. Share additional resources and insights related to your topic. This keeps your audience engaged and builds a community around your message. Follow up with an email or a newsletter. Summarize your speech and provide additional resources. This reinforces your message and keeps you top of mind. According to HubSpot, personalized emails can improve engagement rates by up to 29%. Offer further reading or resources. Recommend books, articles, or websites where your audience can learn more. This positions you as a helpful and knowledgeable resource. Create a follow-up video or blog post. Share more insights or answer questions that came up during your speech. This keeps the conversation going and provides additional value. Finally, reflect on your performance. What went well? What could be improved? Use this feedback to refine your skills and become an even better speaker. As Dale Carnegie said, learning is an active process. We learn by doing. Only knowledge that is used sticks in your mind.